Hello everyone and welcome to this ABG Fireside chat hosted by myself, Carl Bokvist. With us today we now have the pleasure of hosting Green Landscaping and Green Landscaping's Head of M&A, Jakob Körner. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I thought we could start off by asking you if you were to provide a kind of an elevator pitch for Green Landscaping, why it is an interesting company to work for, and why investors should look further into this business.
Yeah. Green Landscaping Group is a company within the outdoor maintenance and landscaping business, and we're home for entrepreneurs. We got a super cool vision. So we're aiming to be the best company in the world. So how's that for a start, Carl? Further than that, I mean, we work in cities and villages around our home markets, and that is Norway, Finland, Sweden, Baltics, Lithuania, Germany and Switzerland. And we are taking care of those places where people live. It could be from our maintenance companies, and then it's like taking care of the cities year round. Could be shoveling snow in winter, cutting lawn or pruning trees in summertime, and making the streets clean. And then we got our project-based business, which we refer to as our landscaping business. And that is about making the cities and the places where people live even better. It could be like a new playground, a new water and sewage system. It could be like renewing the city square or stuff like that, more like installments within the existing infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. And then as this business, as you say, there seems to be a lot of need for your services at least. And when we look at the financials of Green Landscaping as a group, it's been a company that's been growing double digits for a long time. You have your target of having an 8% margin. So from a financial side, what makes Green Landscaping interesting as an investment according to you?
I mean, the market is there. It's super huge. I mean, I used to talk about that there's an excavator or a working machine in every corner of the street in the western part of the world cities at least. So the market is huge. It's steadily growing. The need for like green areas and well, nice places to live in is growing steadily. So the market is there, and I believe we have a strategy and a model that has evolved over time, and we nowadays believe that we've found the absolute correct strategy, and we've been doing really good executing only that strategy, being really hard on staying on the track that we were on for the last 4 or 5 years, and we see that could continue for a really long time.
Mm. And your role is now and has been for a couple of years head of M&A, head of acquisitions.
Yeah.
So the name kind of speaks for itself, but the main responsibilities for you right now, what are those?
Yeah, it's as you said. I mean, the main task is for us to acquire the right companies. But of course, I mean, my responsibility goes much further than that. I mean, it's also about making sure that the companies I acquire are delivering really good going into the future. So it's not like I'm handing over the companies we acquire to like the operational part of our organization, but rather being there in the long run together with the companies that we have acquired. But it's also like I'm in the management team, and at the moment we're only 3 persons in the management team, and we've been growing. I mean, the company has been growing pretty fast the last couple of years. So it's interesting time. Things will need to be done better from us. So at the moment it's like organizational or governance issues that are ending up at my table. So we're pretty broad within the management group. We're not working in silos. So I wake up every morning feeling this is my company and I'm responsible for everything within it. So that's kind of the way we think about that. So a lot of tasks, but the number one is bringing the best companies into the group.
And we're gonna go back on that topic more specifically a bit later, but if we could talk a bit of what's going on right now in terms of what's happened recently and so on. I believe it is in certain areas a bit of a challenging market, and yet green landscaping still grows organically. You focus on protecting profitability. You have ramped up acquisitions in Germany. So right now where we are, how would you say that, what are the biggest challenges right now in the near term, and where do you feel like confident that we are now getting into a better market, so to say?
I mean, speaking about the market, it's the last couple of years been a little bit tougher than normal. But on the other hand, we got a model that is really rigid. The kind of customers that we are having implicates that we haven't been that hard struck by the downturn in the business. But nevertheless, it's tougher out there. It's more competition and stuff like that. But we are managing really good. And continue about the market. I mean, well, we might see some signs that thing might be better but if that's in the end of 25 or it's 26 or if it's late 24, wait and see. And we're also in many different markets, and the characteristics of where you are in the downturn, the upturn is different. Norway and Sweden and so on. So, but a little tougher time, but still doing good.
And well, it is a very decentralized business, but how do you and your colleagues support the local entrepreneurs with if they encounter challenges, they might say that they might need a bit of advice or financial help or so on.
So I mean, we're like plus 50 companies in the group. And we got basically some of the best entrepreneurs in the world within our group. So the amount of knowledge that we got in the group is like huge. So of course we're trying to utilize that fact. It's hard, but it's about bringing people together, bringing them to the table, learning from each other, and our entrepreneurs are really willing to learn, and they're also willing to learn how they are doing, because that's proud part of being like, this is my company thing. But it's also, I mean, I've been working with M&A for like around 5 years. My boss Johan, it's been on it much longer than I have. We've met so many companies within our business. I mean, it must be like plus 500 companies. We met these super companies that are having tremendous growth and great numbers and profitability. We've met the small ones, we met the bigger ones, we met the ones that are not doing that good. And with all these information that we gather from all these meetings, we are starting to see some kind of pattern. So we believe that we got an idea what is critical to be a really good company within this business. Could be about an organization, could be about governance, could be about how you governing your projects, handle your project leaders and so forth. But we got a knowledge about that, and we're sharing that with our entrepreneurs. We're definitely not pushing it down their throat, because they're responsible for their own companies. That's all what accountability is for. But we are showing them what we have learned, and they are definitely interested.
And then one part of green landscaping is also that a large share of your customer base is public customers by some form of extension. In general, this tends to be a kind of a stable customer group. Has their behavior changed anything, either very recently or over time, since you've been doing this for many years now, been working in this field?
The easy answer is no. Then of course there's some fluctuations, but if that's a trend or if just something that happens, hard to say. But can't see any big trend that's going on. On a general note, on the public customer, but it's also hard to talk about the public customer, because that is so many customers. And again, there are public customers in Norway, and there's public customers in a big municipality and in a small municipality, and they all have different kind of needs. But what is uniting them is that they are really stable as a customer.
So then, just going back to the thing you said there about you met, well, perhaps more than 500 companies.
Yeah.
So there are different kinds of niches out there where there are companies that acquire other businesses. So how do you view the M&A landscape where in your niche, so to say?
For the last couple of years, I mean, the number of phone calls I've got from like M&A advisors or brokers, it's gone down a little bit, and I believe it's coming back these days. But again, that hasn't really affected us that much, because the number one source of finding new companies to join the group is actually through our existing CEO network. So we got a lot of colleagues out there who are not part of Green yet, but we know them very well. We know how they treat their customers. We know what kind of employees they got, and we know what kind of, in what level their customers are satisfied with what and how they deliver. So we've been maneuvering for the last couple of years, regardless of actually the downturn in that sense. So that's maybe one answer to the question. Another one, if I'm just going to speak openly about, I mean, the M&A strategy that we got, I think that there's one thing that, well, it's many, but one thing that comes to my mind that differs us from a couple of our competitors out there is the Evergreen horizon. And that is highly attractive to many of the entrepreneurs out there. I mean, it's not everyone that has their succession in place, but I mean, many of our companies are like branded with the name of the founder, and they're really proud of their company, and they know their employees and their customers, and they can't like see a future where that is not preserved. And we got an excellent context together with entrepreneurs to make even those companies having an evergreen horizon. So kind of a selling point, I guess.
Yeah. So when you approach businesses, and I understand this is now from your perspective, of course, but maybe also if, you know, once you've actually finalized a deal and the sellers actually explain why they chose you, what are some of the most common arguments that you hear or that you believe that you provide?
Yeah, but then I'll go back to the Evergreen horizon, being here for the long term. We're like industrial players, so I mean, we're here to make money, no doubt about it. But we know that it's business. There'll be good years, and there'll be some years that's not that good. And I believe that the entrepreneurs can feel that when they talk to us, that we actually know their business. So that's one thing. And then of course we always want to be better, but that goes for the entrepreneurs as well. So that's no problem. But then there was one more thing that was on my mind. Yeah, it's hard to answer that this is it. This is why they are choosing us, and this is why we are choosing them, because what's uniting every seller is that they want some kind of change. But what that change is, I definitely saw that not even the sellers always know what they are looking for. They might be a little bit fed up, then they need something new, they need a new spark in life or in their context. So what we're doing is that we're digging a lot down into that question, doing like 5 whys questions and root cause analysis to actually feel really confident on why are they selling. And there are different answers to that, but we can see that even though there are different answers, there might be a solution together with us, not regardless of what the answer is, but it's not like there's only one answer that fits us.
So you previously talked about how you find these well-performing companies and that you want them to continue to perform, but how do you create an environment for that to actually happen, and how one being the environment and 2 being perhaps the necessary incentives for companies to continue to perform?
So we're all competitive people, and that goes for entrepreneurs as well. So they want to contribute to the development of green, no doubt about it. So they want to be a top performer, and everyone basically do. And then again, bringing people together, something really magical can happen when we do that by learning from each other. Then regarding incentives, I mean, we are all shareholders in green. This is our company. I mean, as a shareholder group, we say that we who work inside the group are actually the biggest shareholder group. So in a way, the incentivization is done by the value creation that we see is highly possible going into the future.
And then one second to last question here, and that has to do with your strategy. You've been ramping up acquisitions in Germany.
Yeah.
What makes Germany such an interesting region, or the DACH region?
I mean, say three things. Opening up a new geography for us, that gives us the possibility to look in more pools, so to speak. So the number of total number of targets is bigger, so it's easy for us doing the cherry picking. Another answer to that question, that is when expanding out of the Nordics and the Baltics, we believe that cultural wise the DACH region is pretty suitable as a first step. But the most fun answer is like, well, we want to be the best in the world. I started there, so you can't be the best in the world if you're only competing in the national league. So you have to enter the Euros, and again that is what we're doing.
So then, if we then say your current role, that's been the head of M&A since 2020.
Yeah.
So 4 years. But before that, you've been with the company longer than that. So feel free to either pick the last years or before that. But what have been some highlights of your career at Green?
Yeah, I've been here for like 12 years or something like that. So there have been many like times that I remember. But you know, we started off. At least I started off back in 2012. 60 million euro revenue company, well, almost loss-making, and the transformation and the journey to where we are today. I mean, those early years when we did the turnaround, when we found the new strategy, and we started to see some early wins. I mean, during those years, it was really tough. We worked so hard, but so I'm not sure I would say that time when I was there, but looking back on it, I was like very educating for me. So definitely highlight the journey, the transformation. And then there are other small glimpses. I mean, I believe it was in 20 or 21 when we entered Norway and started consolidated in the market there. And again, it was a period when me and Johan, our CEO, worked really hard with it and ramping up our M&A activities, meeting a lot of people. And then time goes by and it was some kind of summer party in Norway that me and Johan was invited to. And then you realize when you meet all these entrepreneurs around the same table, a beautiful day, and the magic that happens there, that's like pinching the arm moment. And basically the same in Germany. I mean, it wasn't like 2 years ago we started talking about this. Well, maybe a little bit more than 2 years ago, but that's when we actually started to moving in the direction to Germany. And it's just 2 years, and now we basically talking the language. We got a great office in place. We got a brilliant team in the office and in and around Germany, 8 companies there. I mean, I believe it's always good to look back to see how fast things are actually going. And I could stay here for a really long time, continue talking about these kind of things. But yeah, there's 3.
That's interesting to hear. So with that, thank you very much for joining us here, Jakob, and thank you all of you who have been watching.
Thank you.